Okay, where do I begin? Well, first of all, hi Kieran Ball. It's good to see you, pal. A very old Kieran wants to wait to watch. I appreciate you. I figured this time of day would be a lot more forgiving for a lot of people that I know sacrifice a lot of time to watch the show. And I'll give you some insight as to where I'm at. It's about 7:30 in the morning here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, Arlington to be exact. And I wake up with Suze when she is getting ready for work. It's kind of impossible uh, if you're getting ready to go somewhere else to get ready for work without turning on sufficient lights to wake up the other person. There's just no way around it. I work from home, so I can kind of get away with like slinking into the bathroom and stuff and keeping things dark until I absolutely have to like watch a client or something. Susan and I have that luxury, so the lights go on, and I'm like, ugh! But you know, it's par for the course. You know what I mean? Usually, I'll go back to sleep for like an hour or two because, like, on the day she works, two of them I work. But she doesn't always wake up that early. So she woke up early this morning. I woke up, and then like she or the cat or somebody knocked over a bag of trash, and I'm like, I'll fucking get it, whatever. Um, and then I just stayed up. So I've been up since like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I've been just slowly making my way through my morning. Made myself some coffee, and I made a decision. I was going to take the time since I don't have to worry about Sue's tripping over anything or needing to go to the bathroom or like that. There's only one way to and from the bathroom, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to take this opportunity to get all this stuff out and organize my stuff again, because in the small space that we're in, it's really difficult for me to get everything out and organize things. So, for sure. Oh, hey, Brendan Haley, how you doing? Hopefully, this is a better time of day for you as well. Joe DeBecky, hello. Good morning. Much better than this digesting what passes for morning news. We'll go there. But I've been up all morning, and I was like, well, I'm going to organize this anyway. Why don't I throw the lights on with some coffee and do this? Because I was going to have to get the table out anyway. I wanted the table out so I wasn't bending over the bins all the time. And I was like, well, if I get out the table and get out the screen, like it all just kind of made sense. So completely informal. Ask me anything. I'll bring up comments when I can. I shouldn't be like too knee deep in anything to do that. But all I'm doing is taking toys that I've received over the last few weeks and trying to bag the ones that haven't been bagged, and especially with the Motu Origins stuff to get them in this here bin. All right. I got my bags and my rubber bands right here. I've got various things in various states all across the place. As I was about to climb into bed and relax to some TV as Lizzie is at work till 0200. This is much better than I was watching. Hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, good day to everyone. But I'll be on for a bit because once everything is reorganized, might as well have a chat about something. You know what I mean? Might as well talk. But bring up anything. Nothing is taboo. You know me. I'm just going to get started, and I'll talk my way through. I would love to share with you the music I was listening to, but YouTube poo-poos on that sort of a thing. Besides, I know most of you don't like death metal anyway. I'm listening to music, so if you see me doing this, it's because I'm listening to music. Helps me. It just helps me. I don't know what I was trying to say. It helps me with everything. Music is everything. So, for those of you who haven't seen this before, I have like a gigantic bag of rubber bands. I have post-it notes in here that I should be using to write down when and where I got something. And I have not been doing a very good job of that. That, I think, itself will be a whole project that I will involve with Susan, because she has better handwriting than I do. Okay, so there's nothing. Here's I can figure. There's nothing in here that's like needs to be redone. But I've got just a finite amount of space at the top here to mess around with. I got to be really careful with the characters that I'm taking out of this box here. So like Ninjor needs to go in a bag, and his head came off when I was pulling him out. So we're going to take all his weapons off so we don't actually crush anything. Fiddle with his in a little bit. And I think we're going to bag up a couple of the figures that are already out, too. There we go. I'm going to turn that off for now. Brendan says, you were up against Star Wars Episode 9. Clearly want to punish myself. Thankfully, only the second time watched it. Oh, man. That's, I don't know about all that. Like, look. I am not of the camp that says the sequel trilogy is, like, it's good enough. But I will say this. And they were going to make it whether we wanted it or not. And, sure, didn't make a lick of sense. Kind of a useless portion of the franchise, but there was enough good ideas to entertain me for most of the trilogy. Even though Last Jedi is an abomination that Rian Johnson should be ashamed of. Not in the sense of what he was trying to do with the franchise, necessarily, but just, like, his smug bitterness about the whole thing. Like, he wanted to stomp his feet and crack little man baby, and he accomplished that, and the internet was in an uproar, with good reason, I think. And I think, ultimately, that Force Awakens was exactly what we needed at the time. It didn't apologize for being exactly what we asked for. I think J.J. Abrams did a great setup. It was, as Michael might say, it was a layup. It was an easy decision to make, right? The biggest problem with that, aside from the fact they didn't have a plan, if they had a plan, it would have been a lot easier. But in the absence of a plan, Rian Johnson comes in, fucks the whole thing up. And then J.J. Abrams has to come back and end things, which is the one thing he's really bad at. So, I don't know. I'm not saying I could have done better, but if I was in the room when they were, like, pitching ideas, and they're like, hey, Rian Johnson, he wants to, like, subvert expectations, I'm like, never say those two words ever again. Thank you very much. So my custom $1 that Nerd Rage gave me, I'm putting it into the bin, because as much as I like that character, and I like that custom, it's like, I don't need him out all the time at this point. I would love to keep Ninja out all the time, because I fucking love that character. I love that figure, but Death Space is at a premium, so I'm on the fence about keeping the Hordak out. So Vintage He-Man and Vintage Skeletor will always be out, because they're part of my little Instagram series. So it will always stay out. So we're bagging up Mr. Ninjor here. Get him and all his accoutrements all together. I have a bunch of cards that I need to take the comics off of and put them with my other comics, which are in a little bag. Word, Brendan says, word, my friend. I think the four of us here can come up with our trilogy. Rebagging video is a rarity. Yeah, I mean, for me, definitely. I don't do it nearly as often as I should, is what it boils down to. It's not that it's such a weird thing for me to do. I just don't do it as often as I should. And I would imagine that once I have an actual place to display, because the only toy display I have are the tops of my speakers right here. And I've got 3 figures up there from Motu Origins. Right now it's Hordak, Vintage Skeletor, Vintage He-Man, and I'm thinking of bagging old Hordak here. I'll have to label him as to which one is which, because I have boxed Hordak right here, which I'm going to debubble, and then put him in a bag as well. Because that one, the one I got from Nerd Rage, I'm gonna take all his limbs off and repaint his limbs blue for cartoon accuracy and cut his cape off. I'm making my own cartoon Hordak. You were like, sorry, I switched off. You're talking Star Wars. I'm back now. So Kieran does have limits. Good to know, Kieran Ball. Alright, let's see. How does he fit in here? I guess diagonally is probably the closest thing we're going to get with this guy. my Playmates Picard, also from Mr. Nerd Rage. Very kind man. And as I've said in those videos, I've known that guy a long time. Good, really good guy. We fold it this way first, like that, and then down like that, maybe. No, I guess there's not really any way to do it because it's just gonna floppity round. All right, let's see here. That'll work. It works. Keep forgetting you can't hear the music. So used to people being able to hear. Oh no! Or was I smart? Was I smart? Oh, it looks like I was smart. Okay. Oh, mama! My Roboto is missing a piece, and I was like, did I put him in a bag? Did I put him in a bag? And spoiler, I did. I absolutely did. Good idea, Kieran, and I like the way you think, but no. The color blue, when we get to Hordak, I'll show you. But his gauntlets are the right color, but it's from here to here that needs to be painted, and it's a darker blue. And it's a different sculpt. Master Son's like, you know what time it is? Having a stream this early in the morning? I kind of like it. What's up? Nah, I'm doing well, man. How you doing? Like I was telling chat earlier, I've been up since like 05:30 because the lady gets up at that time to go to work on Fridays. And what I did not tell you guys that I actually am taking today off of work. I'm burnt out, really burnt out, and I needed a day to just do things for me and just have some chill time. And I had the opportunity to do that, so I'm doing that. And I just figured, well, it's zero stress and zero pressure for me to turn on the camera and share this with you guys. So that's what I'm doing. Have a nice day off of work, get some things done that are stressing me out, get it off my plate. And so I benefit from all kinds of stuff. It's good stuff. Oh, you're just sitting down to work, Master Son? Okay. Do you work from home or do you commute? If you don't mind me asking. Because I only have Star Trek 2 Migos, Kirk and Spock. Would love more Star Trek TOS, but space mediation. Yeah, I get you on that one. My thing is, like, I would love to get Star Trek 2 Migos, but I'm not like super into it. And I didn't purchase this. This was sent to me by a friend who knows I like Star Trek. Probably also knows that I wouldn't really mess with that stuff. So it's both a blessing and a curse if you think about it. All right, I'm going to take this rifle out of old green shirt's hand and make sure that he doesn't accidentally drop the fucking thing. All right, so now all of his goodies are in their own little bag. I got you. Hey, man, nothing wrong with a contractor job. But I'm glad you have a half day, though. That's the thing with this, because as a civilian, you can do that. You know, Suze was a contractor for a long time, actually. And we were talking about last night, she kind of lucked into her job when she left the Navy. Because it was like, what the hell am I going to do? Kind of a situation. Because it was an unexpected medical board situation. And she really wasn't sure what she was going to do. And it just so happened that her skill set met exactly what a certain contractor was looking for at that particular time. And someone referred her, and that was that. So she stayed in the game a lot longer than I did. And because I was so specialized that it was going to be very hard to find me work that wasn't exactly what I had been doing. Nonetheless, I was doing things in an educational fashion, which later came up. And also, a lot of like overseas contractors wanted me, and I was just the whole time I was just like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Not for you guys, anyway. Like, you guys do this shit for profit. I was doing it for duty. Duty. All right, so Joe's double bagged, double bagged, double bagged, double bagged. See, I got stuff in like wrapped in paper, all kinds of bullshit. I'm trying to make sense of this stuff. I'm just leaving things in the packages they came in, which is not good. I gotta make them uniform again. Ugh, I got a lot of stuff. All the superpower stuff needs to be taken care of. There's loose dark side sitting there. Fucking Green Arrow just hanging out like a school. Yeah, I was just throwing these in there. Really stupid. Okay, so I'll just. By the way, if this is brushing, if you can hear this brushing as I'm moving around, tell me. I'll move the mic down. 16-bit Pete, what's up, brother? How you doing? Also, how the hell you get as featured as a guest Retropalooza? I don't get shit. Just giving me a hard time about it. That's awesome to see. Can't wait to see you. Just 2 weeks now. I'm gonna see 16-bit Pete. If you're not following 16-bit Pete on the old YouTubes, you are not doing YouTube as well as you could be. 16-bit Pete's a great guy. One of the most brilliant minds in retro gaming that I'm aware of, and he's a good friend of mine. You should go check him out. With a quickness, right? Grabbing all the wrong fucking bags. Ugh. So this is my superpowers parademon. Master Son says, got a job helping my friend out, writing a contract for him. He started his own company, and he was bidding on a contract. Nice. Had a vacancy in the contract. I said, so if I want a job, that works out well, sir. Brendan Haley is looking for Stinkor, Green Goddess, and Faker. So, in most situations, those pre-orders haven't gone out. So, like, Faker, you can kind of get here in the States. I'll see what I can do about that. Stinkor and Green Goddess are still on pre-order for most retailers. I haven't even gotten my pre-order yet, so I'm not surprised you haven't gotten yours either. Or that they're not in the stores. Something like being organized in gyms is definitely nothing like this. I'm actually very organized inside the bins. It's like stuff that's in, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get back to that place. Brandon says, seeing no posters coming out of Australia from the U.S. of other stuff in the pile loot. I got you. Good morning, Mr. James Salzberg, a.k.a. the man who makes me cry. Now, we will not be seeing a reprise of those figures. The box that he sent those in is actually perfect size for two Migos and, a G.I. Joe. So I just kept them in that box for now because I knew that getting them into these bins is going to be a challenge. So what we're trying to do is get a small storage unit here in the area right up the street. And then we're going to move every last thing we don't absolutely need out of here, with the exception of toys if we can help it. As she keeps her toys on card, I'm going to buy storage bins specifically for her stuff. And then we'll put those in a bin and we'll put those in storage. But because my toys are loose, I use them for the channel and whatnot. I'm going to try and organize it in such a way that I just have a stack of bins here instead of like them being precariously stacked on something else. And create some freer space over there, and we'll see if that works. Here's hoping. When in doubt, James, carded if you have it. As for I have Fisto. I already have Fisto, and I have Faker. I have a carded Faker that I'm saving for someone else. But you know who does need Faker is Brendan Haley. So hang on to that for him. Send that to him. But extra Ram Man, I'm all about that life because I got my WWE Masters figures over here, ready to go to make my Tim Witten figure, which I'm thinking of customizing with paint and stuff. James, the Quartermaster Salzburg, he's a good guy. All of y'all are great people. Just being here is amazing. I appreciate it. Just to watch me put fucking plastic figures in bags. I guess I could put some music on for you guys. There's some stuff that I can play that's totally YouTube safe. Hang on. I can make that happen for you. Just give me a minute. I'm going to bag up old Green Arrow here. I guess I can probably show you the figures before I bag them up. Huh? Kind of rude of me, huh? Like all the excitement leaves the room when I'm doing that. But for those of you that didn't watch the video I did about this, the reason I do this is that these are rather thick poly bags, and when you wrap them around like this, they almost become like one of those, like they're pretty sturdy, like you're not going to punch through that very easily. Protects them from dust, protects them from crush. It's a good thing, and they're not expensive. And I'm not even halfway through all the bags, and I've used a shitload of bags so far, so. The Roboto goes in here. And his accessories are where exactly? Oh, right here. Walmart fresh from the peg. Nice, dude. Definitely all about that extra Ram Man, man. But as far as Faker and Fisto, I have them. I have an extra one for a certain somebody. I'm sure you can probably guess who that's for. But if someone else needs them, like, make sure, because, like, you know how it is. But you won't be able to send it to Brendan right away because he's in Oz, and they're not taking shipping from us just now. The truth comes out. Kieran Ball only tuned in for Jill the Ripper, not happy. Unsubscribe. She's at work, man. She's at work, dude. She's at work. I can't do nothing about that. Look at it this way. If there was no me, there would be no her on this channel for you to watch. You know what I mean? So, you owe me. You owe me? What the fuck does that mean? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. Little dark side action for you. And this Martian Manhunter he is geriatric Martian Manhunter because he just does not stand up. I need another one of these. But at the end of the day, I have him. I got a repro cape for him. I know repro, right? How horrible of me. I'm not a real collector now. Worst person ever. But I say, fuck you. That looks amazing. Am I selling these at Richard? Fuck no. This is my personal collection, bro. No, I'm not selling none of this trash, man. I don't have anything. I don't have anything that I think I can sell at this point. I don't have any doubles of anything. I don't think so. I might, depending upon what the mail brings next week. I might have a double of one thing. But that's it. Otherwise, I am cellared out. I'm just a collector collected. That's it. Yeah, Brendan brings up a good point, James, is that I do have stuff I'm eventually going to send him. We got him the Secrets of Grayskull pack. We were able to get one for him. So, actually, that makes way more sense. So, yeah, just go ahead and send him on. Oh, James, that's perfect, too. Y'all are working this out in the chat. I don't know why I'm trying to broker this shit. Because I like to do things, I guess. All right, here we go. There we go. Like that. Got me an Ultraman. Ultraman. All right, so I gotta. You guys have seen all kinds of figures you probably didn't know I had. Because I just get stuff and don't tell you. Because I'm waiting to do them in feature videos, and I don't fucking do the feature video forever. You know, it makes me a bad person. At least you budget, Kieran. We don't really, in a way. I probably need to get better at that. Alright. So, I got a few heavy hitters to show you. Well, a couple of them aren't heavy hitters, I guess. Ooh, some of you definitely don't know about that. And some of you probably don't know about these. This is all interesting to me. Okay. Oh, right on, Brendan. Getting some mask stuff. So, these are. This is a broken Black Widow. Like her foot's all messed up. I don't know where the fuck her foot went to. Oh, it's in this bag of parts right here. I got a bag of parts for various Black Widows. I got a Mary Jane Watson head in there, and I got a blonde Black Widow head in there. And I got a Gwen Stacy / Mary Jane body, and then redhead, uh, freaking Widow there. And then I got the more traditional Black Widow body there, and a Jessica, not Parker, I always fuck up her last name. Spider Woman, Jessica something or another. Yeah, everyone is going mask crazy at the moment. And it's something I kind of want to stay away from because they are just too expensive. I loved them as a kid, but I'm not entrenched enough in them to like want to go after them. You know what I mean? Yeah, here's Jessica Drew right here. Jessica Drew. Now I should bag these separately, but I'm not gonna since they're all kind of related. They're from the same person. I'm gonna try and stack them all in this bag. I don't. Until this stuff happened, I didn't have a lot of loose Marvel Legends stuff. I had one loose Spider-Man, and because all these parts are interchangeable and I can customize and stuff, I'm gonna stick them all together. All the girls gonna have their own little room together, it'll be like college. They can experiment. I mean, oh, what? Marvel Legends girls all in a bag. I love this community too, Kieran. So, got me in Aquaman. I agree. Here on the original costume is much better. However, having a Jessica True at all is very cool for me. Um, and you never know. Yeah, never know. So this is my Brainiac from Series 1 of Superpowers. Kind of a grail piece for me of sorts. You can see his arm is broken off at the peg. Nothing some Lego can't fix. And Lego and or some paperclip, I'm thinking. And I have some extra Lego pieces from Epic Badger that I'm going to use to repair this guy. But I need workspace and more tools to do that, so it's going to have to wait for a while. In the meantime, I'm going to try and get another Brainiac in slightly better condition. Not just the arm, but like the patina is kind of weird on this one. And so I'm kind of looking around to see what I can find. And so I can have more than one. Just because these things are so prone to breaking. And I don't ever want to like look up and see that Brainiac's crippled and I can't do nothing about it. Like I hate that because he's a hard to find figure as it is, especially at a decent price. Speaking of hard to find at a decent price, his skirt's coming off. Desaad. That's a pricey figure right there. Pretty pricey for a guy who's like, Now he's missing these side hoses that are supposed to be on the front, but I don't give a fuck. I've seen them online. I saw a couple yesterday, and I almost bought them. And I thought, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Yeah, they do. Turn blue. Connor Fuller says, "Hey, I don't mind if I hang out here for my lunch break." Not at all, sir. You are more than welcome. Pull up a chair, have some fun. I promise you guys can be interested in that. Ooh, got a coupon for the Cape Master. I mean, I could give that to somebody who needs capes. Cape Master's amazing. Okay. Yeah, he's actually a great guy. On top of everything else. So I'm falling behind here. Anyone needs Fisto, let Jim know before next Thursday. I'll hold it. Otherwise, return it to Wally World. Okay. I'm sure someone needs Fisto. I'm sure of it. Absolutely. Brainiac do turn a little bit blue and other colors, but it's not just the blueness of it. He always had like a bluish tint to him with the silver because of the kind of metal they were going for. But they also turn kind of cloudy. I run into a lot, and I agree with Kieran Ball. He says Aquaman doesn't suck. Full stop. Aquaman was always kind of cool. Hey Chris, how you doing, brother? Hello everyone. Watching this stream in the background, but want to say hello in the chat. Well, hello to you, my friend. It is good to see you. It's good to see you. Brendan loved Aquaman in the 80s and avoiding superhero range, fighting the 80s instrument. Yeah, it's expensive, dude. I don't even want to. I've gotten lucky on the deals. For sure. But, jeez Louise. Here's something most of you probably don't know I have. That was a gift from Jesse Hughes, the Epic Badger, for my service, which is very cool. Very cool. So I bought those Marvel Legends parts off of them, and I saw a gung ho in the picture. And I said, "Ooh, how much do you want for that?" Because I've always wanted a gung ho in dress blues because I was in the Marine Corps. And he was like, "It's yours." I'm like, "What?" "Thanks for your service." That stuff always weirds me out. But at the same time, like, it's a very heartfelt thing to do. Tishi and I have been fast friends ever since. And I am protecting the ever living crap out of Gung Ho here. Because he's gonna get the shadow box treatment when I get a chance. I gotta get him a sword, replacement sword. And then I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do a shadow box for him just really do up a nice display for him, because that figure means a lot to me. Okay, so that's all the loose superpower stuff. That's all the loose figures that were in here. All the loose ones, anyway. So the problem I run into is that now I've got some box figures that probably don't need to be boxed. So let me show you. But these can also end up in here, so I'm gonna slide those in there. My alternate Roboto parts and my Tim Witten head. That's what these are. That's what these are for me. That's all they are. I don't care about them otherwise. I am a wrestling fan, but I don't care about the figures at all. I care about them for the parts. So don't pack Migos yet, just saying. Okay, James. Well, I have a separate box for the stuff that you sent. There's still room in that box, so totally, Tim. So is gonna get a little bonus here. I'm gonna debubble Goldberg and Kane here to make more room for other stuff. Put them with their Masters of the Universe brethren, which is really just a way for me to make room in the box that they were hanging out in. I feel horrible. I feel like a real jerk off listening to music while you guys can't hear it. Give me a second, just a sec. All right, you should be able to hear me now. Hear me. And I'm going to get some music on here in just a second. Actually, we'll do it this way. Do it this way. This is easier. Something that I know for a fact is YouTube safe. Where's it at? Oh, duh. Right here. Well, that's what I'm trying to say, is that there's music other than what I normally listen to I can play that should work along the way. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just going to take me a second to get it done. Oh, goodness gracious me. Okay, hang on. Okay. I got to do a couple things to make this happen, and then you're going to get your unboxing here. Unboxing, rebagging, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Here we go. No, not like that. If you play stuff that's on YouTube, you can't do that. But there's a company called Pretzel Rocks that mainly caters to the Twitch crowd, but they also have music that is, you can make it YouTube safe. I'm going to go to, you got here. Let's go with this. Let's see what the blues got like here. There's nothing with that stuff. Okay, let's try this. There we go. So now there's some piano in the background. See how you like that? An unboxing with a rebagging? No way. Yeah, exactly. Alright. Back to cutting this boy up. That sounds a little weird out of context, doesn't it? I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, word to the wise, when you're cutting open a package like this, don't interrupt yourself, because it makes it really difficult to keep it clean, generally speaking. If you can avoid it, don't stop yourself for nothing. Unless you're like on fire or there's an emergency or some shit. Don't be like me in that respect. Almost done. Just gotta get this corner here, I think. Yeah. Should be pretty close. Oh. It's nagging at me, this thing. A little piece of plastic just does not want to go away. Okay, cool. The bubble! Alright. Now the way I cut these is by design. If you look real close, the way the comic's held in by the plastic, so I always cut around the edge so I can keep the comic with the thing. I will be beheading him later. I don't have an extra Ram Man. Do not have an extra Ram Man to put his head on, so he's just gonna get a poly bag and that'll be that. He'll just hang up. Grindhead says, I wonder how Homeland Security would take audio of these videos, putting bodies in bags and having other heads in bags. Well, I'm already on a watch list because of what I used to do for the military, so I think they know better. I like to think that my old comrades in arms are not that stupid. But it is a funny thing to think about. Come on, little plastic tab, get off there. Ah! But yeah, Pete, if you're still watching, I don't really resell stuff. I never really have. It's a very rare thing that I sell stuff. So like when you met me and I was selling those games, it was just like I don't have any need for these games. I want to try and make some money, help somebody out, and luckily we did that, which is cool, which I really had a lot of fun with. But I have no agenda to resell stuff over at Retropalooza this time out. Come on, stand up, Goldberg. Not Ram Man. Okay. I thought he came with a separate head. Oh, it's right here. I'm like holding the alternate head in my hand, and I'm like, where's his other head at? Stupid. Well, he doesn't have another head, he just has a helmet. Well, that's cute. Well, here, I'll put the helmet on your head so you look a little bit less like a dumbass. Dumbass. Oh, and look at this. Your armband's coming off, so your arm can't bend, and you're just in a state, Mr. Goldberg, sir, aren't you? You're just in a state, aren't you? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a professional wrestler. I don't know what they were thinking with this line, but it's cool to have exchangeable parts. I'll give them that much. It's a cool idea for that end of it. But in that case, they should have just made it so you could buy just alternate body parts in whatever color you wanted. Make it a special order from Mattel Creations. That I would support. I would 100% support that endeavor. That would be great. Yeah, Pete, I don't really sell stuff that often. I don't buy things in bulk as much as I used to. Because, like, with toys, I'm going after very specific things. And with the games, I'm going after specific things. And I just don't buy lots that much. Which means I don't have a lot of doubles. Which means I don't have a lot to sell. Now, if I had a lot of, like, gaming doubles here, still, yeah, I'd probably sell a couple things. But I don't have them. We're just coming to hang out and maybe help other people sell their stuff. You bringing a bunch of them GameCubes now? Because you know me, I can town barker that stuff right off the fucking table. We'll get those sold. And they'll be worth it to you. They'll be worth it. Alright, Kane. You're coming with me, Kane. Name that movie, chat. Alright. A little too high up on that. So it'll be a little jagged. That's alright. Fix it. I think. Close. Cut that away. Right, yeah. Right there. Come on. There you go. Attaboy. Come on. Alright. So as you can see, I did a bad job on this. I could probably trim it out a little bit. Probably. Yeah, especially that part. That part's really bad. And you get a start. There we go. Got a good start. I just cut along the edge here and I screwed it up. That's alright. It's not the end of the world. That's better. That's a little better. Okay. Alright. Gotta be careful. These end up in the trash so the cat doesn't start chewing on them. 100% accurate, Master Son. 100% accurate, my friend. 100% accurate. I really like my 80s wrestling, mid-2010s. Met John Cena for Jesus Make-A-Wish. He was a really nice guy. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I liked mid-2010s as well, actually. And then it dropped off for me around 2016. I stopped watching, and I was like, eh. Care about my OCD means I always have multiple figures looking for mint copies, so I always have items sell swaps to friends. There you go. Yeah, I'm not like that in as much as I just don't purchase in that manner. That may change. I don't know. We'll find out, though. So are you trying to tell me that all the Masters of the WWE Universe figures have these stupid plastic ties on the bottom of their damn feet instead of just another rubber band like the rest of the Masters of the Universe line? That's stupid. It's a really poor packaging choice. Alright, well, it came out a bit easier than I thought I was going to, but still dumb idea. Still a dumb idea. Okay. Just here be Kane, R. He's even got the Roboto attachment. He's only got one, though. Oh, wait, no. He's got more. Hang on. Let me see if he has alternate attachments that Mr. Regular Roboto doesn't have. I'm curious about this now. So wait, his blister and his bubble. The bubble. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, whoever packs the Masters of the WWE Universe figures is a bit... Ooh! I didn't know that. He comes with a fire effect for his gun. He has the same gun that Roboto does. So we could even use the fire effect on the gun. Look at that. Turn that around. How you like that crap? Look at this. The gun in his hand. Come on. The gun in his hand. And now he's just shooting away. Ba-dow, ba-dow! That's pretty freaking cool, man. Totally stealing that from my Roboto. So he's good for all kinds of cool stuff, not just the alternate arms if you want them. See. So you could actually... I would prefer to take the gun that he holds... Well, I don't know. I'm on the fence about the gun. But those gun effects, those are pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Makes it all the more special that Bjorn Jorgensen sent those to me. They're even more useful. So thank you, Bjorn. I don't know if you're watching, but whether you are or not. Another rubber band. And Kane goes over the count. Okay. Trying to see how these work out specifically with the possibility of putting these other figures in there. So I gotta figure a few things out here. So I've got this treasure. Whoa! Dropping stuff. Oh, good thing I looked. Might have thrown these out by accident. Some extra hands for those girls in there. Okay, so this is technically all trash. Right? Yeah. Okay. just for the sake of them not running around on me, I'm going to rubber band these bags together and see if I want to do something with them. Oh, not yet. Just throw them over there. So in the interest of keeping my comics together, I'm going to do just that. Keep my comics together. Come on. Come out of there. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, this was apparently glued to the card back, and it's ruined. But it's a whole one page. A whole one page. So it's not, I'm not really losing anything out on this crap. So that's alright. Put him right there for now. Put that there. Hardbacks here. Okay, here we go. Now we got a system. Appreciate that, James. I'll pull it up here in a second. Gotta get these comics out. I guess that one will go in there, huh? Oh, no worries. Enjoy your vacation, Ted. We appreciate you being here, Mr. Ted Milich. Always good to see you, whether it's for 5 minutes, or 5 seconds, or 5 hours. You're a good guy. We love you. I think that's all my mini comics, plus these mini comics. I know I have to have more than this. Oh, I do, because not all of them have the comics off of them. So there's a lot of card backs down there, which is fine with me. Okay. Now we got a bunch of card backs here. And comics. I think I might be able to squeeze them in this little slot here. James is saying to make sure there's a couple inches at the top because of the way that these behave in heat. Well, I'm not storing, if I do store them, they're in a climate-controlled area. And otherwise they're staying here, which is also air-conditioned and climate-controlled. So I'm not overly worried about that. But I will definitely keep it in mind if that situation ever changes. For sure. I gotta find that bag with those girls in it. Put him back up there because he needs to be cut. And of course I bag up all the card backs and whatnot. Here in Balthus, crap, this isn't going for 5 hours, is it? No, I'm not planning on it now. No one feel obligated to stay. This is just if you want to hang out, kind of thing. You're not going to miss some weird revelation that I'm aware of. Hey, Brendan, this has nothing to do with my fucking clothes. You understand that? Nothing to do with my goddamn clothes. No, I'm just going to bag this stuff. The goal here is to try and get some of this stuff that has not been in a bin, and stuff bagged that has not been properly bagged. So, this Hordax for me, so I'm cutting them open. That was relatively low stress. Okay, that worked out as well as it could have. I'm good with that. Always cover with a cloth. I mean, you cover, like, instead of bagging them, you do the cloth instead. Is that what you're saying? It's interesting. Right back to work. Will I keep this number company? Awesome. Hope the workday is uneventful for you. And I just dropped the Hordak instructions, which normally wouldn't be a huge deal, except that the way things are laid out right now, it's going to be very difficult for me to get to them. Push the bin over, push the lids over. Now I have room to pull my chair back and use my foot to gently get these out. I want to move my mic real quick. I'm scared of hitting my head. There we go. Woo! Got it. All right. Now we're all right. No, I bag everything individually, then cover tub with a cloth before putting lid. That's a good idea. I like that. Watching the Motu TV shows from 2002. Yeah, I've heard good things about that. I never got around to it. Don't particularly care for that part of the lore, but it's okay. I will enjoy everyone else's joy. That's a minty boy. Now I want to look at the instructions to find out if I can actually take this cape off without cutting it off. Chances are they're going to say no, which I think is dumb. Yep. Cape is non-removable, which means I'm going to cut it off on the other one, which is, it's fine. So to signify the difference between the two Hordaks, I'm going to do something a little bit different in this case. I'm just going to put him in the bubble. So rather than having him take up twice the space, put him in the bubble with his instructions in his baggie, right? And put that in a bag. See? That way there's no question he's the new one. You know what I mean? Anthony Whitehead, how you doing? We're just organizing and rebagging stuff, my friend. Hopefully this doesn't cut the bag, which I think it already has. We'll find out in a moment. Probably should have done it this way. There we go. Do it that way. Just do, I guess, like this. Sound kind of like Rambo. I do this. One down bottom. Now we get Loose Hordak, who's custom fodder. We're going to put him in a bag now. Oh, right on. On your way to the gym, huh? In more ways than one. So tripped over it, learning about Keldor, released the 2-pack in Origins, and Tila 22 is likable and powerful. Tila was always likable and powerful, even in Revelations, even though she was a bit too dramatic for my own taste. Like, the storyline itself of Revelations doesn't bother me. The characterization of Tila bothers me only in the sense she's a little bit too whiny for my taste. But, if you were lied to your whole life, would you be amenable and rational and fun to be around? Probably not, when you found out. So I get it. They absolutely set up this storyline in the original animated series. And if you don't know that, then you didn't watch the animated series enough, or you forgot about it, or it doesn't matter because it's just a fucking cartoon. That doesn't negate the existence of the other cartoons, and people can shut the fuck up. It's not that big a fucking deal. Kevin Smith's not the death of fucking Motu, or whatever the fuck. Kieran, I'm right there with you, Kieran Ball. Listen to streams that I go on gym. Fair enough. Oh, I'm definitely late to it, too. I kind of popped out in that stuff. Hey, be safe getting to work, James. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being who you are. I love you, brother. We'll see you soon. Hey, I just GI done saying that in a video I was making. Oh, got done saying that in a video you're making. Which part? Which part? We've been talking a lot there, Jay. What part? What the hell? I already bagged the toys you sent. They're on top here, so I'll show you. Like Ultraman, he's in a poly bag now. Which is very nice for me. How do I want to handle this? Alright, so these are all good. We'll just refold these, I guess. They're gonna hate towards Motu. Yeah. It's just like, look, man. I like Kevin Smith for what he is. I agree that he's gotten obnoxious in the last about 2 or 3 years in terms of like the way he presents publicly. Like even his own podcast stuff, he's just gotten extra like lazy, for lack of a better term. Although I know he works pretty hard at what he does. Not trying to take anything away from the guy. I'm not a big fan of the podcast material anymore. It's not what I originally signed up for because the original Smodcast was really, really, really good. And now that Scott Mosier's off doing Scott Mosier things like directing other people's or his own films, he doesn't have any need to stick around with Kevin, and he's just not available half the time. So you're gonna have that, I guess. Goodness gracious! All right. So we got the card backs taken care of. We got the comics taken care of. All the figures are in bags. And I don't know if you know this or not, Jay, but Nerd Rage. But Godzilla Buddha, whatever you want to call him, he has a semi-permanent home on one of my PC speakers. I see him every single day. I really, really like him. Brainiac says I watched my first Nerd Rage video on Fasa ST. That's awesome, guys. Like, I'm glad to see you guys supporting him. Really intelligent man. You will not always agree with him, but you will respect his opinion because he's well researched. So his facts are always in order, even if his opinion doesn't line up with yours. Good fucking dude. It's a good fucking dude. He's the kind of person that when you disagree with him, you're not really mad at him. You're just like, okay. Because once you know him well enough that you realize, oh, well, he's not disagreeing to be a jerk. He just disagrees with me. Took me a while to figure that out. I'm a hothead. once we came to that understanding, our friendship blossomed, in my opinion. He's a very good man, and I'm very lucky to be his friend. Respect the hell out of him. Come on. Come on, Evelyn. Don't be a bitch. Get in there. I know you don't like being in your box, but you don't have a choice right now. How do I? How do I do this? I wish I could show you guys, but it's kind of difficult to stage this stuff. Okay, maybe this, if I do that. Or does it go better like this? Okay, that actually... Okay, alright, now we're cooking with fucking Crisco. I could probably stash these figures in the... Use every last little nook and cranny to my advantage, motherfucker. Yes, yes. Okay. I think that's gonna work. I think that's gonna work fine. Okay, so the superpowers bin is looking good. Looking real good, actually. Hope Suzanne isn't listening to this. Well, I hope not, too, because her work wouldn't be so great with it. She works at a vet clinic. And they're like, get in there, bitch. Get in there, bitch. You know, and some dog will go into heat or some trash. I don't know. But I have these two boxed Masterverse Revelation figures. Susanna got for us. She got Evil Lynn and Skelligot because she wanted an Evil Lynn, and she had that little tiny twinge of like, well, if I buy myself something Motu and I don't come home with something from Motu, it's going to be a bad time. Which she's half right about. She got us those, and I kind of went, I'm not a huge fan of that series. You haven't seen that series, but I agree the character design's pretty fucking awesome. But can we agree these are the last Masterverse figures we ever have in this house? Because yes, we can agree. I'm like, cool. So we're just going to display those as like avatars of us in like this particular display. But I keep them in the box because I have no reason to unbox them at this time. They're not going to be on display right now. I want to keep them nice. So I was very happy to get them in there rather well. Everybody's getting it verklempt. I'm having it verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. Nerd rage is neither a nerd nor a rage. Discuss. Oh, they finally shipped my frickin' figure. If anyone asked me what I got, I am brokering. I guess I don't have to keep it a secret. I'm brokering some Motu Origins figures for Tony. So that's who the faker is for. That's who the faker is for. I have a Stratos that's coming for him, and Zodak just got shipped. So I'm going to pack those up real nice and tight, get them all together, get those shipped off for him. Those dude is, you know, we can ship to damn Australia. This is my Trident Studios Superpowers Mini Comic Collection Volume 2. This has all the Series 2 comics in it. Beautiful reprint. Beautiful reprint. And you can get each one for about $15 a pop. I wish they made it bigger with a hardcover, but I understand why. Really great way to read the comics, and makes it so you don't have to worry about getting the comics for your collection either. Kieran Ball brings a very interesting point to the table. The Motu Revelations figures are either going to be extremely rare and expensive or bargain bin double crap fodder. I'm going to say probably somewhere in the middle, where it depends upon where the Masterverse line goes in general. Because if the Masterverse figures that are not for Revelations do well, some collectors will go back and try to get the Revelation stuff for complete collections. And because people are buying, you know, not necessarily in bulk, but they're buying they're buying enough for these things to keep going. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought for sure. Interesting thought for sure. So we're gonna. I think that's everything. All right. So I have bagged up everything that I intended to bag up. I did make a little bit more room. Not a ton, but a little bit. Sometimes that's all you need. Brendan Haley says, I agree. It's hard to know which one. I really feel that Revelation should have been the middle part of a Revelation series. 3 episodes and into the story we see close to our tail. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. It'd be neat if they had, like, they weren't stretching this out so much. I can kind of see where it's going, but it's not 100% guaranteed. I'm trying to figure out what figure. Oh, Anthony Whitehead, you take care. Hopefully that you'll be working out or whatever it is you were doing, but I appreciate you stopping by. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Have I seen the new kid-friendly Motu show? No, and I will not be seeing that. I've read the synopsis of what the mythology is going to be. I think it's a good idea. I do think it's a good idea that you want to get kids into the series. But I think the opportunity to use the Origins designs was lost there. But I understand why they didn't go in that direction, because they start introducing completely revamped characters as part of the Origins line, then it's like it's muddying that series. I'm hoping that the kids will like still latch on to these figures and so forth. You know. Trying to think of who I want to hang out with Buddha here. My regular battle cat. My Prince Adam. Tila. Surprise T-Man. You know, if you can put the light on there, that's right. Ah, I'm so surprised! So I call him Surprise T-Man. I think Duncan is a good bet. Actually, no. I'm gonna leave everybody in there. We'll leave everybody in here for now. Just let He-Man and Skeletor go back to just being a little duo up here. The other figures will come. The rubber band up top. Bag is right there. Right. All good. Good. Now, I was hoping to find space to put the Delta probe in here in one of these things, but if I did that, I wouldn't be able to have the Masterverse figures out of the bin, or in the bin. So it's like, well, those are more fragile at this point. Plus, I got a message last night. Someone might be sending me a complete Delta probe. They're like, I felt bad about the first part of your video, and I'm glad you're getting the parts, but I have one I don't need, so I'm just going to give it to you. I'm like, okay, cool. Wife and daughter love that, and Brendan likes it better than that. Chris says, great job, too inspiring, fun to watch fellow collectors working on the collection. That's awesome. I appreciate that, man. I'm just very happy to... I have such a small space. You guys, I don't think, have a full concept of how small this is. Even smaller than what Dean, All Things 80s, deals with. There's just less usable space. At least he has one big room for the most part, from what I understand. This is broken up in such a way that it's like, where the bed is the only place you can put a bed, kind of a thing. And there's just less usable space. And for all the Marvel Legends figures that are still packaged, I would need a whole other bin just for those, even if I flatten the packages, which there's no point in doing that because I got the bubbles inside, which I want to keep. So the idea is get everything as together as I can so it's realistic. But what will be interesting to those of you watching is that to my immediate right is the second bin, but I also have just kind of willy-nilly stashed around the area here. I can't really take my camera off because of the way it's hooked up, but there we go. But I have my Castle Grayskull still in the box on its side against the cabinets. I have my what's in there? Oh yeah, my Calabac and my Boulder bomber. That's something I could probably find a place for in here, huh? That might work, right? It might actually. Let's try it. Let's try it. One less box. Let's try it, chat. I'm feeling frisky. Just gotta lean over and take all these precarious boxes, move them around. All these valuable things. Okay. Alright. Small place because I got Dillis around taking up 2 spare bedrooms. I mean, Nerd Rage can vouch for the fact that it would, even though the Godzilla stuff probably would make more sense, I tended to have more Spider-Man stuff because it's more readily available and less expensive. You know what I mean? So, okay. Now, this is a pretty unwieldy toy, so I don't know how I'm going to do this. But I got to try something. Okay. So basically, I got to fit this in this bin somewhere. Somehow, some way. I don't know if that's going to work here, if I have to try and put it here. I really don't know. Let's try it. No, that's never going to work there. Alright, so... Okay. Well, I think the first thing to do is to make sure this bag is complete. I'm going to leave them in this bag here. Because I got the figure in there, and I got all the accoutrement in there, and there's nothing wrong with that. Squeeze all the air out. Do that, makes my life a little bit easier. So that's definitely going to fit in here, no question about it. As far as him, I don't know what the hell to do. So, you saw the size of the box. Jim throws box, hits opposite wall, 2 feet, and bounces back into shot, having a small apartment. Back. Yeah, I am trying upside down. I am trying that. It's not going to work. There's just not enough depth in this box. Besides, I don't want to mix and match if I can help it. So here's what my brain is thinking. Okay, I've been lamenting the Evil Lyn and the Skull of God Masterverse figures and how it's hard to keep them stored. Well, here's the thing. You saw the size of the box this guy was in. I have to think big in terms of, well, I'm saving that much space if I take even just Evil Lyn out to make the space. This is a much smaller package to mitigate in general. So I think in the grand scheme of things, it makes sense to take her box out if it makes room for the Boulder Bomber, which it appears to. It's got to be creative with this shit. that? Is that good? Work? Yeah. Let's see if it works. It probably does. You know what? That might work. Not thrilled with it, but it works. So now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to rework all this stuff, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Hi, Bjorn. I see you. Okay, and just put them like that, right? Just right there, right. Hey, I think we just solved the problem, chat. I think we just solved the goddamn problem. Very cool. Very cool. I'm going to take the mic off so you're still going to be able to hear me. But, I want the rest of it. Okay, so what I'm doing now is making my way over here. Take the superpowers bin and, put it back where it has been for a while. Like so. Kind of wedged. This isn't so bad. Let's set that out. Now I'll take Motu bin, put it on top of that one, but the other direction. It's the only way that it works with it being next to my. Holy crap, this is a heavy one. Whew. Just so you know, the entire Motu Origins collection is very heavy. Thank you. I was able to get the Delta probe in this little nook that was created. Which is a good thing. Because otherwise it was just hanging out on top of the bins, just as you do, and not really doing anything. Now the Darkside Destroyer in its box goes on top of that bin. Oh, no it doesn't, no it doesn't, no it doesn't. Castle Grayskull goes first. Hang on. Let's do a madness, yes. Let's do a madness. Darkside Destroyer goes on top of that. Good old Flock Boy goes in the back of that. Along with Wind Raider. The last squad I go up is Battlefield Warriors. All my acrylic stands, which are not really in use right now. And then my excess hats. Nah. I'll explain why, Brendan. So, he says the blue screen is nice. Maybe superimposing Tokyo skyline would appease the Godzilla god and make recording studio look bigger. No, I will not do that. Here's why. Using green screen with toy videos is a recipe for disaster. I use the blue screen as a contrast. I have a tablecloth, blue tablecloth there, so it all appears in one piece. And if you chroma out a color, every toy you hold up that has that will be color keyed out as well. So, you can still hear me, right? Right? Okay, cool. But when I'm showing a toy, I don't want to worry about his or her colors showing up. That's why some of my early videos had 2 camera angles. And that was to get away from the chroma key, but then I realized if I just go to the blue screen background, I don't have to worry about that, and it still has like a clean background to it. Because the way the lighting works in here has a nice natural gradient, I guess. So that's why I don't do that. It really is the ultimate game of Toytris. So for all of that work, okay, my mint on card, Hordak got bagged. I bagged the loose one that Nerd Rage sent me, which I've already decided that what I want to do is cut the cape off completely. I'll just hang on to it. You never know, you might need that material or that cape. And then I'm going to take all his limbs off and paint the gray into blue. Maybe do a few effects on his head to make him cartoon Hordak and call it a day. Like, it's going to be a very simple thing, which I can do on a stream sometime. I just have to lay out like a paint mat. I got paint mat and stuff. But we got him off the card. We got the Master of the WWE Universe figures off the card. We got the Calabac Boulder Bomber in there. All those loose Legends figures that were hanging out. We rebagged all the stuff from Superpowers line. And we got everything into the bins. Everything back, and also got rid of a box about this big. So, which we actually can use that box for something we have to send out next week. So, okay, so they're asking about if Nerd Rage is going to do a rage video on Motu. He says it may be a bit. Actually, was talking about Babylon 5 reboot. Motu snuck in. Fair enough. Yeah, Babylon 5. They're going to have to work on some really. It's a really fine line if they're going to recapture what made that show special. A lot of it was the cast. Brendan Haley says, Battlefield Warriors is awesome. Have greater appreciation for vac metal toys now. One day I hope we get the Chrome Battle He-Man. I'm sure he'll make it there. He's still hard to find up here. I'm doing great, Bjorn. I'm not sure how you're doing, Bjorn Jorgensen, but I hope you're doing great. Yeah, but it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. Normally, I'm up about 7:30 in the morning. Then I'm sitting at my desk by 8. And that's the thing. But you guys don't see me with coffee a lot, so I'm going to show you my coffee thing. So this is a travel mug that I actually just use as a miniature thermos, so I don't have to go over and pour more coffee. But with stickers on it. Coffee first, destroy later. And Godzilla is my spirit animal. All of which is 100% true. I'm also going to take this table and break it down because I don't need it right here and it's in my way. It's a beautiful, easy to use, sturdy folding table. Love this thing to death. Jim Largo picked it out and sent it to us. He donated it to the channel, which I cannot thank him enough for. Based on the listing I saw, it wasn't crazy expensive or anything, but it's just a nice table that really does the trick, if you will. So now I'm centered, got my coffee. Feeling very accomplished right now. I did see that you sent me a DM. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet, my friend. I will look at it here in a second. Oh, allergies. Those are awful, dude. Scott, do you mind if I answer your question live? Because I have a good answer, I think. Anyway. Do you guys hear the music okay? Is it loud enough that you can hear it without it being over top of me? It should be. It's probably a little bit on the quiet side. But if you're not hearing it, I'm actually really enjoying these instrumental piano songs. Well, Pete, I would be cherry-picking your Star Wars toys, depending on what line they are. Like, if they're Power of the Force, fuck out of here. Unless it's the Millennium Falcon from that line or the vehicles from that line, I'm not interested in the figures at all. If it's... music is pretty good. Alright, let me pull it up just a little bit. There we go. Because with Star Wars, I'm super picky. I don't have any at all. And it's something where I don't want the whole line. Basically, I'm going to build a Bespin collection around the 3 3/4 version of the line. We'll talk about it at Retropalooza. I feel like I'll be retreading too much ground for everybody else, but I'm not the biggest Star Wars collection guy because I'm scared to death of that line because of how expensive it is. But to answer Scott's question, he sent me a DM and he asked, what I think of Iced Earth. To quote, I believe Han Solo said this in a Star Wars film. What do you think about such and such? Try not to, kid. Never was a huge fan of Iced Earth. Always respected their talent in terms of what they were doing. But after all the shit that went down with their guitar player, this year, between, diminishing returns on the music at this point and just not being a fan of the way that guy does business, I could give a shit about Iced Earth. And they were barely on my radar in the first place. They had some cool ideas. They're like, not quite power metal, not quite thrash, not quite extreme metal. And I'm like, just pick a lane, guys. Like, you're good at what you do, but pick a lane. I think that they're tailor-made for the European audience. And it's not a cut on Europeans or metal or anything like that. But I think Europeans are just, by their very nature as music fans, much more tolerant of more experimental stuff, which Iced Earth very much, in my opinion, is a type of experimental metal, because it's neither one thing or the other, which again is fine. It's okay. There's nothing that makes me go, oh, it's not metal or whatever. It's just not my kind of metal, I guess. Oh, one of Bucky's toys just hanging out on my desk like that. In a bag still. I'll put it there so I remember where it is. But that's me on Iced Earth. You know. Ooh, Dean just put up the review of the 60s Batman stuff. That's cool. So I figure we'll hang out another 15 minutes or so, unless you guys really get me on a tear about something. So if you got questions that you think will inspire a conversation, like, now's a good opportunity to do it, because I'm not going to take up your whole morning. Just start to be drinking coffee. If you have questions about the channel, about my collections, about me, it's a good opportunity to do that. My kind of metal is copper. I guess you like a lot of pennies then, huh? There's droplets of copper. But, I mean, all you really missed was watching me put figures into bags and me saying where I got them from, and that I like you guys. That's all you really missed. Always preferred tungsten steel. Tyson, I agree with the fact the guy screwed up royalty at the Capitol. However, their support so that he did not engage in any violence, just a stupid choice to join a dumb crowd. I'm glad he didn't engage in any violence. I mean, that does speak a little bit to his overarching character. And I can even understand being upset with the status quo, of government and political correctness and all that other shit. Like, I do get that. I don't often speak on political things. This is about as political as you're ever going to hear me get on the channel if I can help it. But I will say this. If there was going to be a group of people that stormed the Capitol, even non-violent, it should be to start us from scratch. Because if you have an allegiance down the line to any political party in the United States, you're doing politics wrong. I understand the whole game of lesser of two evils, but if the entire country were to rise up, even just non-violently, going through proper channels, and oust all these motherfuckers that are way past time when they should be getting out. They're the older generation than me that are hanging on to shit. We need to get some young people in there that'll abolish lobbying completely. Just abolish lobbying and have everything done directly with people to the representatives. And if representatives aren't doing what the people tell them, get them the fuck out. So I feel like any kind of an allegiance to a political party in this day and age in the United States is just stupid. You're wasting your time. Because neither party has it right. They're both trying real hard. They're both trying in the wrong directions, in my opinion. Brandon Haley says, last band I went to before COVID was Apocalyptica. My partner was a long-term fan, but my first exposure to, they did a live playing the Metallica tribute album. Nice. I saw them. No, it was Rasputina. I saw, which is like a almost literal sister band to them. It was all ladies playing cellos, and they're playing with Marilyn Manson and Helmet. That's a weird bill. Helmet opens up with Frankie Bello from Anthrax playing bass. And then they have Rasputina, who just kind of stand there. Oh, look at our cellos. And then Marilyn Manson, and this was on the Antichrist Superstar tour, so he was like, it was before things got a little weird in his camp. Well, weird for him, Appreciate that, Scott. But I just think people need to hold their politicians more accountable. and there needs to be better ways of doing these things. And with the way democracy is supposed to be set up, it's kind of like the whole toy thing: vote with your wallet. Well, you vote with your vote. But when you only have two choices, and the other choice is essentially, I stand for everything the other guy doesn't stand for. They feel like, look, I stand with the guy on these issues, but he's not doing what I want him to do. So the idea that it's always going to come down to two candidates, I think, is stupid. I think we need probably two more parties in the country. I don't think libertarians have it right either, but something closer to that is a good idea. And something that's not socialist, but leans in that more that direction for those people that really are into that stuff. So that Republicans and Democrats now have two other viewpoints to speak against and have to form an actual opinion instead of just saying the opposite of whatever the other guy or gal says. That's the big problem for me. Is that it's just a whole lot of like, oh, I think this. Well, I think the opposite of that. Vote for us. And it's just fucking stupid. Brennan says, yeah, my partner loves Marilyn Manson. She's taking me when he comes. Seeing Kiss February 2020. Cool. Yeah. I was always enamored with the Kiss Mego dolls, but I don't like the band, so I don't want the Mego dolls. I would love to see like a whole rock series of bands now. Like, there are some really theatrical looking bands that would really benefit from some action figures, like old Satyricon photos where they're wearing spikes that are like out here and shit. Like black metal bands, that'd be kind of cool. Immortal, that band looks pretty crazy. Gwar, why in the fuck do we not have a Gwar set of toys? Like Mego Gwar toys, like, come on, dude. Like, that's just begging for an action figure line of that style with soft goods and the whole bit. But now that I've said that, Mezco will probably grab the license and make each figure worth $150 freaking dollars. Everybody says Ninja Sex Party Rico set me so down. Fair enough. You could do like Devo, because they got the hats and stuff. Daft Punk, probably. That kind of a thing. Alright, Scott, appreciate that, man. You can send it now, I just won't get back to you after the stream. Gwar did have a miniature war game. They did. I did hear about that. Brendan says that your partners exposed you to music since started dating. Guns N' Roses, Coldplay, U2. Yeah, it's interesting to me because I've been through several relationships in the last 10 years or so. And that initial period of like sharing interests and stuff is always interesting. But with Suze, who I've known for a long, long time, she's kind of familiar with most of the stuff I'm familiar with. And, you know, I'll play stuff for her, things like that. And, you know, there's some discovery there, but we're just getting to know each other on a deeper level all over again. So it's an interesting way to start a relationship. It's very interesting, and I enjoy it. But when you've known someone that long, you notice little things faster, kind of a thing. Like the honeymoon period was really, really short, in my opinion, just because we know each other so well. So it's not like another new relationship where it's like, oh, you know, like, but that was to our advantage. So we're able to have serious talks without risking hurting the other's feelings because we're both really in it for the long haul. Like, this was a long time coming, no pun intended. And we're both on the same page with a lot of stuff. More so than I give her credit for sometimes, to where I bring something, she goes, oh yeah. And it's okay. It's kind of interesting. And yes, Bjorn Jorgensen, sir, Super 7 does have a Lemmy figure, which I fight buying. Because I don't like Super 7. Subpar 7, do not like them at all. I don't want to patronize them at all. I have a Let Me Kill Mr. Pop vinyl sent to me out of the blue by members of the community. A very thoughtful gift because I do like Lemmy. And for something like that, where it's Let Me Kill Mr. Like, I don't need an action figure of the guy. In that situation, where you want something that represents that person, pop vinyls are not the absolute worst choice in that situation. I would prefer Amigo-style figure of him, which would be a bit more faithful to the man and so forth. But it's nice to have that. But I have a couple pop vinyls where I'm like, I don't know why I fucking have this. I don't know at all. But basically, if it's something that's been given to me as a gift, I'll never get rid of it. But if it's something I've bought with my own money, I can do what the fuck I want with that stuff. And so there's one or two of the pop vinyls that I own that I'm like, you really need that? Which I will wholeheartedly send to, I think it was Michael I was talking to, where like he wants to destroy some pop vinyls for a video, and I'm like, I'll send you something. Like, I will make that happen. I don't need them. I have at least two. If memory serves, I have at least two that I've been wanting to get rid of. Yes. People did Hendrix and Elvis as well as Kiss. So I think it's a slam dunk for them to do, like, to continue that line. They even did, it's either them or Mattel did the Osmonds. Because I had Donnie when I was a kid. I had Donnie Osmond. And I always thought the Osmonds looked like the Wonder Twins on some level. It's a creepy way. But they had no gleek, if you will. Oh, hey, Tony. He says, hey, Jim. Congrats on following the show. The first notification you were doing this day. Oh, man. Appreciate that, man. So, my buddy Tony Malik, he has a very, very interesting show. And even if you're not into the hobby, I suggest you go to his channel and watch it. He does slot car racing, which is something he's, as long as I've known him, which is, at this point, 20, almost 25 years, man. Close to 25 years. Like 97, 98, somewhere. But we're on the cusp of that 25 years of knowing each other. And he's instrumental in my life in many ways. But he's always been into slot car racing in a big, bad way. Like the big ones that you could modify and do all this stuff. And he has a whole series where he does like he'll do the races with a bunch of other hobbyists, but he films it from multiple camera angles and does like commentary over it, like a pre-recorded sports program. And it gets better and better as time goes on, and it's a really cool thing. So you should go check out Tony's channel. Let me see if I can pull up the link for you guys so it'll be in the chat. Give me a second here. That's one thing about YouTube I'm not a fan of, is that it does not let you... Let's do this. Here we go. Videos. Okay, slot rods is the name of the show. Okay, cool. So he's got a lot of different stuff on here, but the slot rod stuff is really good. He also is an amazing musician in his own right, too. So there's the link. It should be coming up here, and if not, I'll put it in here. It'll let me check. There we go. You should be able to see it here. But give him a subscribe if you would, please. Check it out. It's actually a really interesting. It's an interesting show. Like it's something where like I have no interest in slot racers personally, but I know that I would love to sit next to Tony while he's filming that, have a beer, and watch the races and stuff. So it's something that, good stuff. Your rate says Funko Pops are the beanie babies of pop culture. Changed my mind. No. I think you will find the majority of people in this toy collecting community portion of my channel would heftily agree with that. Absolutely. And Tony, part of the reason that you might not see the notifications for me going live is that most of the time I schedule my live stream, so you get the notification that it's coming up or whatever, and then you have to set the reminder to get the notification of the whole thing. But this morning it was just like, well, I've been up for a couple hours. I want to get the bins down and reorganize some of the toys. And I did all that, put them back up, and now we're just having a chit-chat. So I'm glad you're here, so I'm glad to have the ability to give you the shout-out. Get you some stuff. Well, while I'm on the subject, it's a good idea, Pete. Now, I know there's some crossover in my community of like people who like retro games, but also like retro toys, but also like retro video games, or even if you're just a technology enthusiast. 16-bit Pete is a really good person to sub to because he's just a genuine motherfucker. He's a great guy. So just subscribe to Pete because he's awesome. Get him up to 500 subs, and he deserves it. Same with Tony; they both deserve some stuff. And I think Bjorn's on point when he says when someone's really passionate about a project or a subject, he enjoys listening to speak about. Well, those two guys right there, like they're super, like they're chill, but they're passionate about what they do. Hi, Tim. Good to see you. But yeah, Pop Vinyl is definitely the Beanie Babies of the current era. For sure. Absolutely. There you go, Nerd Rage. Appreciate you. Tim, how's it going? It's going pretty good. We just created a few extra square feet of space in the Grind HQ, so it feels pretty good. And we got a lot of stuff in proper poly bags so that the things are protected properly and all these things. Like I said, it's some space. It feels really good. It feels very, 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 very good. I almost went into Raiders of the Lost Ark Indie Line. Like, he was good. He was very, very good. Hope what is coming up there alive. Please. But yeah, you should subscribe to it. While I'm at it, freaking Nerd Rage too. I know that I've put his link in videos and stuff, but since we're on a bro love thing, we've got some channels that need a little bit of help. They're just starting out. My pleasure to give them a shout. So this next link is Nerd Rage. I'll just type out that. So those are definitely, like Nerd Rage I've known a long time. Tony I've known forever, and Pete I've only known a few months, but he's got the respect of people I've known for a long time, and has my respect for being such a good friend. So these are all really good stuff. Brendan says, I missed the bagging. Just get one of those big boxes and upend it on the table and repack it. You can make this a 5. No! Like, I'm not doing that, man. One, because stuff would almost certainly get damaged in that thing. Like, I had to, get this all going. But here's the thing that's going to happen, though. What's funny is no, Bjorn, I'm not starting over. Because the stuff that we downsized were all on my side over here, guys, she's not going to notice unless I go out of my way to point it out to her that we did it. She'll go, oh, good. That's her W Rex. Oh, good. And she'll be happy about it, but she won't be here because she actually reorganized a little bit yesterday to make some space over on that side of the room, and you did a great job, I think. Overall, I think that we're well prepped for getting storage and stuff like that. Yeah, the music's coming from my end. I wanted it not to be super silent when I was doing stuff. I'm gonna turn that back down just so maybe it's not distracting. But it's nice music, and it's YouTube safe. It's not going to hurt me. So, all good things. All good things. All good things. For sure. So Scott sent me some interesting images regarding a certain toy line. Holy frijoles. Some boy's got some stuff, apparently. Cool, man. Yeah, I definitely need to... I'm definitely interested in the first set of pictures that you sent regarding toys, and the last message that you said. There's certainly some things in there that I'm like... So, the problem I'm running into is that it's what I call Action Force season. And when Action Force actually drops, it's going to be really difficult for me to be able to make all the ends meet on that stuff. But I'll make it work. It's just kind of the timing is weird, and catching up on some bills and all that fun stuff. You guys know how that goes. So I'd resign myself to not being able to get those. And then just out of the blue, they showed back up on Big Bad Toy Store. I was like, well, what are the odds I'm going to be able to get these again? Unless on the secondhand market. So it was like... So the first question is, how bad do you want them? And if the answer is, I want them pretty bad, do you eat ramen for a couple weeks and just make do? Or do you way overpay on these things on the secondhand market and then have to chase them? Obviously, you eat the ramen at that point. Because immediately when you feel like when a peanut bar having a drink, that's the vibe I was going for. Like, just relaxing, chill, bunch of friends hanging out. That's the idea. We're chilling out. So, that's the big thing for me, man. I like making pre-recorded content. I like seeing people enjoy that stuff. I enjoy the vibe you can create in an environment like that. But I love having live discussions. I've been doing it for so long at this point. But, there's a certain degree of adrenaline that comes with knowing that when you hit the start streaming button, that someone's going to be there. Someone's going to be there. And I really dig it. Oh, I don't knock ramen at all, sir. I don't knock it. Not one bit. But it's kind of the... Because the other thing I'm trying to get back into is cooking again. Because I was on a really good roll before Suze got here, because I would be able to... It was very easy for me to, intermittent fast and then only cook certain things and this and that. And unless I, try to force her into doing things the way that I do it, it's more difficult to make that happen. I'm not blaming her. It's just a different living situation. So, we went out of our way to buy more groceries this week. And, for example, like I said, look, I'm going to cook dinner tonight so that we're not trying to spend any money on food. And that stuff is just going to go straight to the gut, straight to the butt, and all that stuff. And I've had my fill of the overly processed foods, and if we have the stuff, I can do the cooking. It's not a problem. So I just need to put up and shut up, because I've been sitting on a couple pounds of meat, and it's just like, well, cook it. You know how to cook it. You're gonna cook it. Oh yeah. Tony says, can't knock the ramen. We were probably made of about 70% ramen back in the 90s. Not wrong. Especially in Jeanette. Whoa. When I lived in Jeanette, it was like pizza, beer, and ramen, and maybe coffee. That was about it. There's this one pizza joint down in Jeanette, and Tony knows this. I used to live on Chestnut Street, and just the bottom of the hill from Chestnut, where I was at, there was this pizza place. I can't tell you the name of it at all. Couldn't tell you. But they would, not supposed to, but they would sell you like pizza at a takeout price. They would just deliver it to you anyway because I was close. So they would. The deal was they'd bring me like a double extra large pizza with extra cheese, pepperoni, and pepper rings, and they'd bring me a case of beer, a case of Yingling, and that would be my sustenance for like the next 2 days, basically. You know. He said, introduce the world to Jeanette. I'm like, I hope you don't make friends with Jeanette. She's not a fun girl. I will say, Tony, that at least I'd say 80 to 90% of the times that I saw Barry and Chris, or Barry and Fred, or Barry and Fred and Chris, or Fred and Chris get into a fight, it was in Jeanette. And half the time it was in a moving fucking car. Those three, you get enough fire water in them, they're like, you know, and they would always have the same way where like one person grabs the other's neck and they're like, I'm not mad at you. Why are we fighting, brother? And I've done the same thing in certain situations myself. But I can say there's something about Jeanette that just inspires people that love each other to get into fist fights. So Jeanette, Pennsylvania, stay away. Except that pizza place, if it's still there. That pizza's really good. But I don't think that pizza is worth, the fist fight, if you will. If you order so they put Dr. Pepper in my ramen once, it tastes pretty good. I mean, yeah. Pepperoni, sausage, bacon, hamburger, mushroom, black olives, extra cheese, more cheese. I don't blame you. That's pretty good. Nerd Rage says, I hate to do this, but I gotta go. This nerd isn't sleep. Good night. Well, good night, sir. Thank you for being here. Love your face, sir. Wish you all the best of luck on everything. I mean, yeah, there's definitely something in the water. There's something about that area of the country's water. I mean, they made Rolling Rock beer with it for, 30, 40 years, Tony? Something like that? 30, 40, 50 years? Anheuser-Busch snapped them up, and now they're making it in Detroit or some shit. It's weird. Scuba Pete, good morning, sir. So, I haven't actually scheduled the stream yet, which I will be doing later today, but this is an exclusive until then. Pete will be appearing on the channel Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for a chitty choo chat. We're just going to get to know the guy and talk about toys. So I hope you guys like Scuba Pete, as the chat clearly is showing me there's a lot of love for the man. So we're going to have a nice long chat with him Monday night. Hope you enjoy it. Good night, nerd, and nerds everywhere. Are you leaving as well, Kieran, or are you only just saying that to Nerd Rage? Okay. It's not Fox's. Fox's is where I ate. There was multiple Fox's, but the one in Monroeville, okay. So if you went straight up 22 to get into Monroeville, just as you pass underneath the turnpike, that's around where I worked. There's a Fox's tucked away in a corner there. That's probably the best Fox's pizza I ever had. I believe it was Christopher's Pizza. That sounds right. Because they would have the big motherfucking pizzas, and they would have this way with their cheese where they would congeal it in the oven to where it just turned a little bit darker. But it was amazing. It was always better cold the next day and shit. Christopher's, I'm 90% sure, because that was good pizza, man. It's good pizza. Granted, it's been 23 years. I have no idea if they're any good now. Well, Brendan, no worries. Thanks for being here. Love your face, mate, and we'll see you soon. I'm glad to hear that, Bjorn. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad that Pete's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to talking to the guy. I like talking to people of my generation about things that I like, and that just slots right in there. I'll just stay away from the death metal stuff. He's still there and still good. Oh, well. If I ever find reason to go back home, other than a funeral, I'll make it a point to take the lady up there and get some Christopher's Pizza. And of course, I will break bread with you. Oh, it's been a while. It's been 5 years, for obvious reasons. I'm glad to see Master Stone still hanging out there in the Chitty Chatto. Chitty Chatto. Chitty 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 Chitty. Chitty 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 Chitty. Oh, let me look at the Twitterverse, see if there's been any cool toy announcements that I can share with you guys. Not seeing anything that blows my hair back. They have a new Lego Technic Batmobile, but it doesn't look like a Batmobile at all to me. It's just a black car with a bunch of crap on it. So I'm not going to show that. It's fucking dumb. The Tron Home Arcade that just came out. It's up for pre-order. The Arcade 1-Up. I don't know if you guys are into that stuff. They have the Tron 1-Up. They're like $700. I'm like, yeah, fucking way. Killer Instinct one for $750. Fuck off. I'm sorry. It's a Raspberry Pi with a flat screen monitor and a plywood box with some controllers. That's not $700. That's $400 at best. And even then, no, not so much. Depending on how this goes, you might miss the ending. Got to pick up Grandpa from dialysis. Hey, Grandpa comes first, man. And it's not like this is not some scheduled show where you're missing content. We're just talking. We're just hanging out, man. We're just hanging out. There is a new. This is the James Bond collection. It's got 24 films on Blu-ray. From Dr. Notice Spectres. Everything up to the certain point. It's on sale for $60. So if you're a James Bond fan, let me know. I'll throw the link in the chat for you. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a good price for what you're getting. I mean, 24 movies for $60 on Blu-ray and this Bond. One so close to payday and one so broke. I would definitely buy that. Definitely buy that. Don't forget, guys, Walmart Collector Con is going on today. There's more announcements today, apparently. I'm looking at them. And don't really care. A bunch of rando shit. They have Amigo autographed Captain Kirk going up. It's autographed by Marty Abrams. From Amigo, I think. It's like, why do I care about his signature exactly? What do I care about? This is a cool. Okay, this I have to show. Because this is an interesting thing that is happening here, and it's pretty good retail price item as well. Let's see Bing. So you got a Foot Soldiers 4-pack. So it's based more or less on the arcade models for the characters. Kind of cool. And they're $15 a piece or $75 for the 4. Got some exchangeable hands and whatnot. They're AXN. I'm not even sure what that means. But it's pretty interesting. Full line of BSTAXN. I don't know what the fuck that means. But it's a cool little set. This is that James Bond I was talking about. $60 gets you all kinds of movies, apparently. Look at this. That is a nice little collection, especially at that price. Apparently, normally it's $114, which probably means it's probably close to $100. But I'm seeing used from 72, so I'd be willing to bet that it's around that $90 to $100 range under normal circumstances. It's just down to $60. I would definitely be interested in that. I would definitely be interested in that for sure. But I'm not spending $60 today, so fuck them. I don't want this. These fucking people. Might as well show you this stuff since we're here, right? Meh. Like Lego Star Wars in general, like I don't care at all. But if you're a Lego fan and you're a Star Wars fan, hey, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Scuba Pete just pre-ordered Super 7 Snake Eyes from Target. Card back in the comic had yet. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And he said you should be getting a movie about an Iceman today. Okay. Karen Ball says, personally, I don't want every Bond film so real stinkers. Well, you're not wrong, Karen Ball. You're not wrong at all about that with James Bond. But I would say that the movies that I would want to have, buying those separately would be close to $60 anyway. So it's like, spend the extra money, if nothing else, for the extra special features. You know what I mean? At least that's my take on it. That's my take anyway. I could be completely off base here. Well, we know you're a Lego guy, Bjorn Jorgens. We know that. We know that. Holy hell. Scott Hughes has been to work sending me some pictures of some stuff. That's a lot of stuff, man. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, for James Bond, you know, I'm in. Like Flynn. And like, I like Lego. I like Lego a lot. It's like many other possible collection things for me, in as much as Tony kind of says it best. If you're getting some, you may as well have them all, and that's the thing. Lego is such a slippery slope for that shit, and you know that's like the part of the stream you missed earlier, Tony, is that I've gotten into collecting the Masters of the Universe Origins figures, and I have the entire line up to this point, barring some pre-orders that I'm waiting on to ship of like the current waves and stuff like that. But that's a lot of damn plastic figures, and I was like rebagging them and putting back in bins because I just don't have the room right now to display them properly. But I will say that I would not have committed to doing that if I didn't have the long-term goal of displaying them properly. Like, I'm trying to go for like a diorama kind of thing. Like, remember going to Children's Palace in Greensburg across from Westmoreland Mall? They'd have like that on the end cap. They'd always have like a fish tank looking thing. This diorama of like your Star Wars toys and Masters of the Universe and stuff like that. I'm wanting to do that with this new line of figures and just have this ginormous diorama of those particular figures. And I also have the Superpowers collection stuff. I have everything in Series 2 except for like 3 or 4 figures, which I'm actively chasing. Do that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm really into those things. But like Lego and stuff where you build it and all this stuff, I loved it as a kid. And I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy using them now, but they're so expensive. They're so expensive right now. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy. Damn, Scott. Jeez. Yeah, I can see a couple things here that I'm really interested in. For sure. Like, we're going to have us a chat, brother. So I remember, collecting because of habit that can't knock us forward, keeps us out of the real trouble. We can always use the equity and pitch. It's the part of collecting that people don't like to talk about. Like, I do not view my collections as an investment financially. I don't. beyond the fact that sometimes they cost you extra money and whatnot. But I'm not buying them to resell them. But as you say, if things get really bad, you can do that. But I've done that with other things in the past and paid the price for it, no pun intended. It's something where, like, I'll never get rid of my drum set. I'll never get rid of a video game again if I can help it. And with toys, like, this is me reclaiming that last little shred of my childhood. So it would be difficult. It says only a couple no reference, but oh no. What I'm talking about is like with James Bond specifically, where they're like, I don't like all of them, but it would be worth it to have the collection. Like when it comes to Blu-ray, like dude, I got a ton. Like I had to buy a rack just to keep the Blu-rays I've bought since COVID hit. And then the stuff I got in storage, like, shit. Yeah, Tony, that's the thing. I don't want to buy any of this stuff a second time, let alone a third time. So, like, the Superpowers collection, so, like, all my toys when I was growing up as a kid, my parents sold or gave away. Even the stuff I really wanted, I don't think they realized it. I don't think they realized I was hanging on to that stuff, specifically to hang on to. Because that particular line of toys meant a lot to me as a kid. So I've spent the last few months getting them back. And it's not been cheap, but it could have been a hell of a lot more expensive. I've been very savvy on the eBays. When it comes to Masters of the Universe Origins, you might notice these are not the original figures. They have joints that you can bend now. You can actually move them around. There's no rubber bands in his waist. Like, they're actually really well made. And they're at a decent price, which is in some ways driven down the cost of the vintage stuff to a certain degree, because they're just not as desirable. Because now they're it's like buying a beat up car and having to fix it up. Like, it's already in dilapidated condition, then you have to just barely get it running. Whereas with the Origin stuff, for the most part, they have a 1-to-1 or slightly better sculpt than their original counterparts. And again, they're inexpensive, so they're worth it for sure. Kino Lorber seems to get all the rare classic films out lately. Check them out. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I probably want, but I haven't really... I don't go out of my way with films these days at this point, but these things, for me, come in waves, right? These things come in waves, where there's a baseline of toys that I'm wanting to have. So basically, once the Action Force stuff comes in, and like these initial pre-orders that I've made kind of make their way to my house, and I can organize the Marvel Legends collection a little bit better, and then kind of see what I'm really looking for. It'll be a lot more cherry pick with Marvel Legends, and the Superpower stuff will be done. And as far as like the base collection of what I want, then it's just kind of like, well, I want this sign or like this piece of memorabilia or whatever, but it'll be cherry picking. And Motu Origins is just be on autopilot because you'll hit the pre-order, and then when they come in, they come in. So it's something where then I might start looking a bit more into the movies, and I have been in the recent past. I might start picking up a different line of toys. CDs are always something that I keep my eye on, but it's not as much as it used to be. There's just a ton of CDs I probably should go out and buy, but in today's day and age, I'm not incentivized very much to do that. But plus, CDs are harder and harder to come by. That's the other problem. Tony says, my mom did that too, so all of my clutter and probably have given away several $1,000s worth of rock and roll memorabilia. Yeah. Oh. Like, all right, Tony will definitely appreciate this. Some of you might appreciate this. In the late 90s, Metallica reissued the Sad But True shirt with the two skulls facing each other, but they did it on like a olive green shirt, which was like a little weird. And you could get it in like Spencer's or whatever. And I did have one. I did. And I don't know what the hell ever happened to that shirt. I couldn't tell you. Chances are my first ex-wife probably got rid of it, if I had to venture a guess. But just on a whim, I went looking for it on eBay. And one, I can't get it in my size currently. And two, expensive shit. But they reprinted it on the Metallica shop. You get the black one. I have one of those. I'll probably get a second one just because that's my favorite Metallica shirt. I just love that shirt. But it's insane how much like a stupid T-shirt costs. You know, it's like stuff that like it's just nuts. It's just nuts. Too many says, if I listen less Blu-rays now, unless it's something I either don't own or it's the first time Blu-ray release. Fair enough. My criteria with that stuff comes down to what's going to give me the best image quality relative to the scan that they did, and what's going to give me the most special features. And I will sacrifice picture quality for special features in some cases. Now, if you're taking a VHS scan of something and putting it on Blu-ray, it's like, well, okay. Which has happened with some classic, VHS horror stuff. Pete, I have a region-free player as well. It'll do any region DVDs without doing anything special. Then I have to do a certain button combination for regions on the Blu-ray player. Honestly, I should just hook it up. Because it's only about this big. I should probably do that because I have all the Motu stuff. I have the set from the US. I have Motu. I have Transformers, all the G1 stuff. So series 1 through 3 or 4, and then I just got G.I. Joe this week. So I've got all that stuff finally. What do I have recently? Oh yeah. One of my favorite movies called This Is England, from, well, you guessed it, England. And it's just notoriously hard to find in the States at this point. And, I could watch it. And the cool thing about it is that I could put it in the Blu-ray player in here, but the playback is so sketchy that I just don't mess with it. So what I'd rather do is hook it up on the Blu-ray player and hook it into my capture card, then have it here in OBS, and then just do a digital recording of it. Although I do have I do have it digitally already from a DVD rip a friend gave me. But I would love to have it in 1080p, and they have follow-up television series for it, which are really good. But I can only get those in region 2 or whatever. So I'm just kind of resigning myself to the fact that just some stuff I'm going to have. They're not expensive, Bjorn, relative to what they do. In 2016, it cost me $120 to get one. There's modded ones on Amazon. So they'll buy like a decent Blu-ray player and then just chip mod it and give you instructions, and off to the races you go. They're not difficult to mess with at all. Gojitron is here. He says, "Hey guys, I'm at work. Work sucks. Ha ha ha." Max, it's good to see you, brother. Chasing these toys, I need to get me one of those. Got a lot of Scooby-Doo and G.I. Joe DVDs. Can't play at the moment. I don't know what the market is like in PAL regions. I would assume where you are is PAL as opposed to NTSC. But I would presume it's the same kind of a thing where you can just probably get a modded one for next to nothing on like an Amazon or an eBay or something. I'm trying to find the model that I have. But one of the best purchases I've ever made, because I'll just buy stuff and I just don't care. Just buy a Blu-ray, I don't care what region it's on. As long as the features are right and the scan's right, I don't care. I don't care. Like I got a DVD set of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And a UK set. It's beautiful. Shows look great. And because it's DVD, it's a lot easier. So what I can do is rip the disc image, remove the region altogether, then extract the files, for NTSC. So I back them all up digitally. I can watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends anytime I want. And I also have the DVDs for posterity as well. So there's a lot of shows like that. Like I've been trying to find a reliable DVD set of the 1981 Spider-Man series, the one that predates Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. So the 1981. I have yet to find one. It's just Amazing Spider-Man. That's all it is. And it's the same animation team, same story people. It's just Spider-Man by himself. It's really good. But I can't find a damn DVD set of it anywhere. Like a real one. Everything's bootleg. You have a DVD-ROM on your PC, you can take your reason to play DVDs and Blu-rays from any country. It's true. You can do that. The hardware usually limits how many times you can do that. And there's specific software that works to copy the ROMs. So what I prefer to do is put the disc in the drive, burn an image of the disc onto my hard drive, and then using an ISO editor, remove the region altogether, and then just play it on a virtual drive. It's a little bit extra work, but it works for me. Bjorn says, I got a bootleg copy of Dexter's Lab because a complete series I had region locked really expensive. Yeah, it's a pain in the nuts. What that is. A big pain in the old testes. What that is. God must have all those. Well, if that original series and Amazing Spider-Man Amazing Friends, we believe, probably Dr. Doom as well. I remember as a kid being really confused by the comic books because I grew up knowing Dr. Doom as a Spider-Man villain because of those cartoons. And he's the arch nemesis of Reed Richards. And I'm like, who's this guy? Why is he stealing dude's freaking thing? He's just read about the limit how many times you can change it. Actually, I have a second one set for Germany as a result. Fair enough. Yeah, I have 2 Blu-ray burners in my PC. And it's just easier for me to... Because at the end of the day, if you want to get around that, you simply just, without trying to play it, you just make an exact copy of digital ISO file. And then I think it's image burn that lets you remove the region when you copy it again. And then I delete, It's dumb, but it works. And then if I wanted to, I could then burn a copy of that Blu-ray that'll play in anything. So I could preserve the original and just use the other one to play. I've often thought about doing that, like taking my favorite stuff and like just making copies so I just have it in a little book and like wrote it. You German metal? No way. I know you like that kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Like your like all that German power metal stuff that you're into, which is very, very powerful stuff. Sorry. It goes way above your pay grade. I mean, I could teach you to do it. It's not difficult. You're a smart guy. But I also know that there's only so many skills one could hold in one's head. But essentially, you're copying the disk into a soft format, a disk image, right? Think of it like a big zip file. Then you take that zip file, that ISO, if you will, you tell the program that created it, okay, make a copy of this, remove the region lock. Does that, now you have a second ISO, so you have 2 of them. You just delete the first one you made, and then you can use that to then burn to a disk, like any other ISO file. It's pretty easy stuff. In concept, anyway, you just have to know where to click. The software does all the work. But I try not to mess around too much with Blu-rays, running Blu-rays. Although there's some stuff that I've considered doing. Like I have all of Night Court on digital files because it wasn't available on DVD at the time. I managed to get it. It's cool. Because the files are relatively small, because it's lower resolution television,
What I'm thinking of doing is getting a double-layered Blu-ray and put the entire series of Night Court on that, just so I can watch it on TV easier. Scott says, couple of rarities in my collection. 88 Japanese release of Justice for All with Prince track. And Creeping Death, I'm guessing, the EP. But yeah, that version of Creeping Death EP. Yeah, see, called it. I called it. Called it, chat. Yeah, there's some cool stuff there. And even like with some like death metal stuff, if you got first pressings of some of those really seminal records like Left Hand Path and stuff like that, those CDs are worth a couple bucks. And if I'm not careful, I could sink a lot of money into Discogs. Like I make the mistake of cataloging my stuff there, then also collect on price charting, cataloging my video game collection. I don't want to say how much money I have wrapped up in video games, because it's not even my whole collection on there, and I just keep looking at it, and it just kind of goes like this. But the bubble's going to burst, like when they can unequivocally say across the world that Coke is no longer going to be a problem, which hopefully that happens sometime in the next year or two. But when that happens, values are going to plummet on everything. So all this extra money I spent on the superpower stuff will be, like, I won't be able to get my money back for that. I don't want to do that. I was willing to pay the money to have it. And I did the extra legwork, so I didn't pay max price. I just paid more than I probably should. Karen Ball says, Jim, the 1980 Spider-Man cartoon series available with UK DVD under the title Spider-Man 5000. Really? Let me take a look. Make sure it's the same thing. What? How would you call it that? So are you certain that this isn't Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends? Because that's the problem I'm running into. That most of these are just a repack of that. But this package does seem to indicate that it's the right one. I don't know. Cool. Like, I'm glad that it's there. But the import is like $219. Matter of fact, hang on here. I just changed my .com to a .co.uk. Does that change the price to me at all? It's not even available. It's not even available in the UK Amazon. So it's out of print. Well, that's awesome. Scott, but I appreciate you doing the research all the same, Kieran Paul. I really do. Scott, he says, I'm currently in the process of cataloging my collection on Discogs, laborious and tedious project. Yeah, that is a pain in the penis, that's for sure. And it is something I'm eventually going to do. I just don't have my CDs all here with me. So the problem I run into here on that, as well as like on price charting, is that I probably need to delete the whole collection and start from scratch to make sure I don't have doubles of anything, or rather, like to make sure I don't put doubles in the collection, so I can have a better idea of what I'm looking at. But you know, and I have friends that are way more into it than I am. But it's always interesting to see what my band's stuff goes for, especially the vinyl and stuff. I'm like, I was on that, or I have an original pressing of it. Like, there's certain CDs we did that were really low print runs, and people were like we've had to reissue the first album like 2 or 3 times just to meet demand for that record. And they just did another one. Like they did, like, there's been one. In this order, it was a CD repress and a vinyl pressing, which was the first time that was done. Then we had another CD repress with a simultaneous vinyl repress. So it's like there's like 5 or 6 versions of that damn record running around, and I just wish that we'd be able to remaster the fucking thing. They did a shit job on the master, in my opinion, because the guy had no concept whatsoever of how to do samples. Didn't consult me. And like the samples would like start and end and the song would start. And I'm like, that's not where it's supposed to go. Like you're supposed to blend this part in here and dumb. I was in a band called Cardiac Arrest, Morgue Mutilations, Cadaverous Presence, Haven for the Insane, and Vortex of Violence. Those are the 4 that I was on for Cardiac. But yeah. That was me. So, Chris Miwa says, have to hit the road, roll out. Great stream. Have a great weekend, everyone. You as well, sir. Looking forward to your chat with Mr. Michael very soon. Can't wait to see it. It'll be really cool. Not coffee. This sucks. Why am I out of coffee? Should never be out of coffee. But I'm gonna roll this down here in a few minutes, but this has been fun. Tony's like, Cardiac! Like, yeah, man. Tony's seen Cardiac play like at several different points. What I find interesting is that he came down to visit us in Chicago when the band was, at least with me in it, was just starting up. And it was maybe the 4th or 5th show that I had played. Take care, Bjorn. Good to see you, man. Love your face. Hope Grandpa's okay. Tell him we said hi, okay? We were playing this metal fest, and it was in the music wing of a college in downtown Chicago. And so we were playing quite literally in a classroom. It's a little weird, but we have videotape of it, and then he transferred that to DVD, and I still have all that stuff, which will see the light of day at some point here. And so he saw at the very early stages of what we were doing, and then you fast forward 6 years. No, 4 years. 4 years. No, 2005. 5 years. 5 years. And thanks, man. You fast forward 5 years, and we came to Pittsburgh on a tour for a 3rd record and played this big place in Pittsburgh. And he got to come hang out and watch us on the big stage. So he saw it from the beginnings and then got to see it when we started to get a little bigger, which was really cool. And it was something where Tony was always the guy in my corner saying, like, you're really good at what you do. You've got the right mind for this. You can do these things. And I never forgot that. So it always kind of fueled me to push and do better. And it paid off. You know, even if it didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, at the end of the day, I left my mark. In fact, I just was contacted by a fella who's doing a documentary on death metal called The Growl. And he's a Canadian filmmaker, and he's taken it very seriously. And he has basically said that he does want to interview me because of my history, not just in Cardiac, but in several, not just bands, but areas of the country in the time frame that I was involved, so I could speak to that side of things. And I'm like, dude, I'd be honored to do it. So it'll be cool to be able to do that. And guys like Tony and some other people are really a big part of that. It's always humbling to have people be interested in the work that you've done. Because it's like we did it for ourselves. We wanted things to we certainly wanted it to resonate with other people, but you always have to write music for yourself first. And the fact that people were into what we were doing was always a really, I don't want to say a surprise, but we were always just kind of like, oh, good, I'm glad you like this. but I was never under any illusion I'd be able to make my living doing that, at least not at the level we were doing it. You don't make a lot of cake. Like even bands like Crowbar, bands that are like in that tier 2.5, where like they're huge names, people know who the hell they are. I see what Tony's saying here. He says, we both got to pen a verse in the big song, the bigger honor. In other words, people listen to our music. We are part of the song of the whole thing. And that's important. Like, yeah, if you can make your mark on music, if you can even touch just one person, it's worth it. And I'm happy to say that on multiple occasions, I've had people say, like I really enjoyed this record, got me through this or that. People have said that about, like some of my Twitch streams or some of my YouTube videos, or even recently with the stuff that we're doing. So, I do the things that I do for my own enjoyment, but I'm also very keenly aware that there are people that need this kind of a thing to feel better. It's just it's a form of catharsis, I guess. There are certainly channels I watch, and certainly music I listen to de-stress and so forth. And I would be irresponsible if I didn't acknowledge that there's a possibility that this could help someone. So it is a big drive behind what I do, in as much as, yes, my first and foremost is to let my thoughts out, because that's a benefit to me. But I'm very keenly aware that it might help someone get through a rough day. So I think that's the most important reason to do anything creative of any kind, whether it's a YouTube video or recording an album or streaming, anything. It's you never know who's watching, and you never know who's first, whatever that might be, right? I've had some friends that I've Travis, who goes by Aussie Rules on here. I met him at a festival we were playing at. He became a gigantic fan of the band. We've been friends ever since. 15 years we've been friends. And, we don't talk on the phone or anything, but when I'm streaming, he'll come by. When I post them on Facebook, he chimes in, and he's often told me how much that band is important to him and stuff. So, and he was one of the people that kind of validated me leaving cardiac arrest, because I was scared that a lot of fans were like, "Well, fuck this guy. He's not a musician anymore, so fuck him." And he's stayed friends with me, never wavered once. Like, he was unhappy to see me leave, but he's happy that cardiac still exists, which was very important to me when that happened. And, life happens, and art lives on. Speaking of Tony, you remember way back in 2003, came home to visit and recorded a little demo of a song over the course of we recorded it more or less in a day, and then we took 2 days to mix it. We had to add some extra stuff. We did all of my parts in a day, and then we had Barry come in to do guitar, and then I think Fred ended up doing the guitar. One of the two. They were both there. One of them was like, I'm having a hard time, and the other one grabbed the guitar and understood it. We recorded that one song. Well, the master tape that came from, all these Casio SK5 recordings that I'd done over the course of a few years. By the way, Casio SK5 keyboards are fucking expensive now. I'm pretty sure I threw mine away when I moved to Texas, and I'm really hoping that I didn't. But I'm pretty sure it's in a dumpster somewhere, and I hope someone dumpster dove it and is enjoying it. If that is the case. But the thing was in pretty bad shape. I mean, it's 30 years old. But anyway, I wrote these songs on that keyboard using sampling and whatever. And Yeah, the very earliest beginnings of your home studio, you bet. Like back when it was just like, we have to piece together what we can. There was a time when like digital recording for the consumer was really difficult to pull off. And you had to use specific things in a specific way to get even close to good results. And Tony was caught in that maelstrom, if you will. He worked really hard to make that sound as good as he could. But I've taken all those things, I've cut them back up into songs again, and that's the foundation for what the new project is, which I have a really good band together for. I'll kind of put it on the back burner just because the studio that we're going to go in to record isn't available for a while. And the money I was going to spend on the recording studio is more or less been spent on toys. So I'm like, well, I can't do that. I'm going to go do this now. And then I'm going to have to like put a hard stop on collecting toys for a month or two and go in the studio and record that stuff. And by all accounts, the prelim stuff that we've been doing sounds really cool. And the songs proper are going to be like really bombastic. I'm looking forward to it. But I've been threatening to record that record for, well, since 2003, really. It's like 17 years I've been constantly like wanting to get at that material one way or another. And it's a good chance to do it. It's a good chance to do it. So Tony says, well, get that shit off the backboard. I want to hear that music. I can show you some stuff. So what I did, I think I might have actually sent you some of this. I ended up taking the original tape demos, and there was a little rehearsal that I did with Bilal Koblak, and he played guitar and I was playing keyboard along with him, and I was able to isolate the guitar, so I just have the guitar, but it's only like 2 riffs, and I got those. I was okay, and I quantized them to the best of my ability so they were kind of in time. And then I programmed a drum machine to it. And it's not perfect, but it's close. And I just got the 2 riffs to kind of work in a certain order. And I looped it, and I just did a dry vocal over it, which I really should have put something on it, but it was super dry. Not just in terms of there's no effects on it, but also in the sense that like I hadn't warmed up or anything. So instead of sounding like this, it sounds a little bit more like this. So it's not quite as deep as it should go. But it's cool. And it was just a proof of concept to show people like this is where this stuff should be going. With a lot more polish. And I was able to get a few people to go like, shit, okay, I'm in. So it'll happen. And for those of you that watch the channel pretty regularly, Matt Harvey, who had guested on the live show about a month ago now, I think. He's in Exhumed and a bunch of other bands too. Like Tony, when we were in Pittsburgh in 2010, he was playing lead guitar for Gravehell, but he's like a much more famous dude in the rest of the world. And we've been friends ever since. And he came on the show. We talked about toys and comic books and shit. But he's going to do like a couple leads. It's going to be cool for it to have to do. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be cool. You know, you guys probably won't, most of you probably won't dig it. It's like, there's extreme metal and then there's this stuff. Like, it's supposed to be going like, I'm going to take the stuff that Anal Nathrock did and just be like, alright, this, boom, you turn it way up, kind of a thing. So, it's extreme music for extreme music fans. So, it's going to be something that, if we get it right, it will be difficult to listen to unless you're a really dedicated fan of the genre. There's other stuff that I want to do with it, but the more I examine the music, it's like it doesn't lend itself to having this person or this person on it because they're just not going to be able to pull it off. Tony can read between the lines, probably knows who I'm talking about. I really want that individual to contribute in some way, but I'm having a hard time carving out one of the songs for him. I'm hoping that I can find a way to make it work in the studio. But the thing is that that individual is insisting on working with a very specific engineer. It's going to cost a very specific amount of money, which he has every right to ask for. If I'm spending that much, it needs to. I need to make sure it's going to work, basically. I don't think we ever played. Not when I was in the band, we didn't play Ground Zero in Spartanburg, but I've heard of that place multiple times. I'm sure you remember the album covers, like they were around. So if you were in Spartanburg, you probably remember. What's the name of that damn record store in? It's just over the South Carolina border from Georgia. Huge record store. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Manifest. Manifest? I think. I guarantee that our records were sold there because we were at Ibex Moon, which got distributed in part by Revaps and stuff like that. Tony says, making the incredibly fast notes separate recording is a real bugger. It is. It's to the point where I'm not playing drums on the record because the drums are way above my pay grade. They're way faster than I could ever do. So I'm just programming them at this point. Unless the drummer really wants to step up and really get passionate about the project and takes direction well, I'm just going to program it at this point. And our producer that we have is really, really good at that. So I'll be able to say, I want this, 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 and this. They'll be able to go, get it done for us for the price that we're paying them. So it's a lot of ifs. But the idea is we're going to go into the studio, and Vaughn knows like half of the material and doesn't really know the other half, but knows he can learn it pretty fast. So we're essentially going to get him to play that riff, and then we're going to kind of Pro Tools it up a little bit, where I get him to play the entire thing, and then build the song around it. So we're not going to loop the riff itself. He's going to have to play the whole thing the whole way through the amount of bars, but then each time that part comes up, we'll use that whole run. And then he'll be doing harmonies and stuff over top of that. And the idea is that, like, we're going to build the record while we're there, and then hopefully get some of the drums done, and then the guys will go back up without me, do the bass, and then finish out any of the harmony stuff they want to do, and then get it mixed roughly, and then I'll be doing vocals, and then have it mixed and mastered and be done with it. Scotty says Manifest was in Greenville. Okay, little 5 months away Manifest, right? Oh, they closed. That sucks, dude. So, like, I was stationed in Augusta, Georgia for 4 or 5 years. So it's like right down the street, like 2 hours away, hour and a half, 2 hours. If I was really serious about getting a record, I would go there. So I remember my second divorce, making my way out there, and I bought 3 specific records. I bought Blasphemy, which is like the 4th or 5th record from, like 5th or 6th record from Incantation, that had just come out. I bought Lock Up, the first record, Pleasure Pave Sewers, and Love and Creation, Will to Kill, which I've been looking for. And those were kind of like the soundtrack to like my first divorce. And then I eventually went back and got up to a stack of fucking discs and just kept going back there and stuff. Love that place. There was a comic store next to it as well. They had one of those original Marvel Classic busts of a Steve Ditko style Spider-Man with the mirror eyes, the big one. And he was only like $80, which is well below what he was going for even at the time. And it was like, do I buy all these CDs or do I buy this bust? Now, knowing what I know about my history and my life moving around, probably for the best I didn't get the bust, because it probably would have broken at some point or I've been tempted to sell it. I'm very... Although I really want that thing. I can't find it anywhere for a good price. It's so good. Soundtrack your first horse. That's right. You could have like that's a good title for a record. Not the ones I'm doing, because I've already got the project name. I've got the artwork for the record already done. I'm just waiting to finish the damn recording at this point. That's incredible. I mean, yeah, those 3 discs, like, I referred to them like that for a long time. And, like, Will to Kill, really aggressive record. Like, a lot of repressed anger being released on that record. The sound of a band being very frustrated and finally getting to say some stuff. Whereas, Blasphemy for Incantation was trying to stay, like, they were also kind of like, at that point, struggling pretty hard to stay afloat. And so the anger comes through very well on that. And when you figure Lockup is just a grind band doing grind stuff. So all 3 of those records really helped me, like, excise that anger and stuff like that. Scott says he worked in the same shopping center at the first location of Manifest. Right on. And that comic shop was called Borderlands Comics. Right on. Good to know these things. And people were like, why don't you go out and buy stuff? I'm like, well, because online, if I'm looking for something specific, I have to look for that specific thing, find it at the best price, and buy it. If I go into a comic shop or a toy shop or a video game shop or a music shop, I'm going to see a bunch of stuff that I want, and I'm going to try and bundle it and bundle it all up. Scott asked, how long ago I saw the bus? Just go in there and see if it's still there. Oh, dude, this was 18 years ago. There's no way they still have this thing. There's no way they still have it. If they do, it's going to be expensive. But you can take a look. Let me know. If they still have it for $80, dude, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. But there's no way. That thing flew off that shelf. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. It was like 18 years ago. Kieran Ball telling me where his heart really lies. It says, sorry guys, I gotta go now. Great live stream, even without Suzanne. Love the chat with friends. Take care, everyone. You as well, sir. You as well, my friend. So unless anyone has any questions that they want to get wrapped up here, I'll get out of your hair in about 5 or 6 minutes. Because we've been live over 3 hours, which is longer than I expected. But I feel really accomplished. I feel really good. It's a good way to start my day that I was dedicating to myself and relaxing. So far, good, because it helped me to relax and know that, okay, this stuff's in these bins and it's good. Get rid of some boxes, which is always good for my psyche. I may or may not leave this stuff up because I probably have a video that I need to record. So, yeah. Even though today is for me, it will be a big pressure off of myself to have recorded this footage, and I can edit it another time. I have to do that. Breakfast with Jim has been fun. Oh, thanks, Tony. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I can't do it that often because usually I'm working this time. I'm an 8 to 5 kind of a guy, even though I'm working from home. And because I'm usually working, I'm not going to be able to throw the camera on and do this. I took the day off. I was just like, hey, man, I don't have anything going on tomorrow. Like, I had no client meetings or anything. I was like, I take the day off. Like, put in for a vacation or a sick day. Go for it. Yeah, cool. Take a mental health day, sick day. Done. Because I needed it. I needed to just have a day where I don't have anything to worry about. Impromptu 3-day weekend for me. Oh, yeah. I stream on YouTube. I schedule it out for Monday nights, typically around 6 or 7 your time. Typically is when I stream on YouTube these days. So Monday is going to be a community member named Scuba Pete. when we just talking toys and collectibles. You see his collection. It's true, mama. It's a really good collection. We'll just chat, have a good time, that sort of thing, and videos are there. They'll be there. Joe is back. Joe DeBecky is back. He says, "Damn, still going. You're a beast." Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, I'm used to streaming for long periods of time. I can just sit here and talk. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a problem. Like, I don't want to have my whole day go away, you know. Grandpa says hi. Well, hi back at you, Grandpa. Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you're doing well. And I think that's actually a really good spot for us to get a moving. So I hope that the rest of your day is amazing. I hope that your weekend is even better. And I hope that you have lots of love and joy in your life. And if you don't, know that you deserve it, and it will come. It will come. I love you guys very much, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.